All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the possible defense strategies. So Dr. Dow's defense strategies could include, right? I didn't prescribe you the pill, which was the only real dialogue that we got here. Well, I didn't prescribe you the pill. So of course, I said, well, I mean, it's blatantly obvious that this would have been for a female. I am a male. You do not prescribe birth control, hormonal birth control to males. I mean, I didn't expect that I needed to spell it out. I mean, it was so blatantly obvious that anyway. So she actually did say this, but I don't think it's going to be a defense strategy. But this kind of defense strategy fails. Why? Deflection meant to dodge responsibility rather than address the actual accusation. And that's what happened. You just do a blanket, deflection, and there's no actual, addressing of the facts, right? So whether or not she personally prescribed it to me is irrelevant. She prescribed it to others, knowing its lethal effect, a dangerous death drug here. And the core issue is that she actively participates in the distribution of a drug designed to end human life. It's like a hitman saying, I didn't kill you, as if that negates the fact that you are a murderer. That's it's absurd, right? That kind of a strategy would be absurd. And of course, I am crazy. I'm crazy. Yeah, that's what it's a classic ad hominem attack used when there is no rational defense, right? This guy's a mentally ill person. It's a convenient way to discredit someone without engaging in the actual argument, right? So we're not discussing any of the fact. They're just attacking my character. Mental health accusations are often weaponized against those who expose wrongdoing. Exactly. So I'm somehow a mentally ill person because I'm exposing this kind of evil act. Doesn't make sense, but that's what they do. Even if someone were mentally ill, that does not make their factual claims false. Truth is independent of the person that is stating it. So let's say, for example, I was a crazy person. Would that make my claim or the facts that I've brought forward not true? Right? And if this is her response, it confirms that she has no real counter argument, and there's not. All right, so medical guidelines. Well, brought to you by the pharmaceutical industry. A weak excuse historically used by those who commit atrocities, just following orders, right? So guidelines do not determine morality. History is filled with evil practices that were once considered acceptable. If a guideline requires the destruction of innocent life, following it is an act of complicity in murder, for sure. The medical community supports me. Well, although that is true, appealing to authority does not make this act right, and it certainly is not right. So she knows that these drugs will. This is a birth control. It is abortifacient, which means it will abort a new baby. So it's not right. So appealing to the authority. Well, my boss. Who's your boss? Well, your boss. You're just playing Jesus and God, right? This kind of person is playing with some serious fire. It's some really nasty crimes, and this is the thing. Every single life that is lost is one separate crime. Okay, every single baby, a little boy or a little girl that is lost is a separate crime. It's not just one crime. It is many separate crimes. All right. All right. So widespread acceptance does not change the fact that it is murder. History has shown entire societies embracing evil. And it is absolute evil, yeah. So just because a system is designed to protect its own does not make it just, right? So the system is certainly designed to protect these doctors, right? So the system is designed to protect them from this type of this is these death drugs, abortifacients, and all this stuff designed to be, packaged to friendly marketing to be, they're fooling people. They're deceiving people. It's not. It does not prevent the pregnancy from actually happening. It just kills the baby. So, birth control is an abortion. Well, that's not actually true. This is a deliberate manipulation of language to conceal the truth. Well, abortion is bad enough, but birth control is even worse because it kills more innocent lives. Right? If a drug prevents A newly conceived form from implanting. This is an abortifacient, not mere contraception. So it's not contraception. It is an abortifacient, which means that it will abort or kill the small boy or the little girl, the future man or woman. They could have been the grandfather of a nation. It could have been the mother of a family. I mean, this is some serious. Killing somebody is serious. So the fact that the medical community changed the definition of pregnancy to begin an implantation is it's a direct attempt to justify these killings, right? So there's wording and everything like that. So it's a woman's right issue, right? Women's suffragette, feminism, and all that stuff. I mean, you give these gals an inch and they take a mile and a half. I mean, this is just wrong. I mean, I got nothing against women. I'm not some sort of misogynist or whatever. Even and this kind of issue will be talked about in another video. You're just a misogynist and all this stuff. I love my grandmother so very very much. I love my mother, my wonderful wife, my daughter. I don't hate any kind of women. I just hate killers, right? I really really hate killers, right? Especially the ones that kill so many people. It's quite. I mean, this is not a woman's right issue. It's the right to life of the baby has been brutally, taken away by this kind of death drug. So this is a smokescreen to avoid discussing the reality of the act itself. It's a woman's right issue, so we're just not going to talk about anything. Do you have anything against women's rights? And then after that, the discussion becomes emotionally charged, and these women are yelling and screaming, and there's no type of civilized dialogue at all. It's quite, they're going to be yelling and screaming, and then we just basically just say whatever, and then the discussion doesn't take place, but it doesn't negate from the fact that these small boys or small girls are being killed. But these it's called abortifacients, and that means it's a drug designed to kill the baby inside of the womb of the mother. It should be the safest place in the world, but however, it's the chances of actually being born once you're conceived. I don't know what the number is, but it's not very high. All right, so the no right justifies the intentional destruction of human life. There's no right to that. Thou shalt not kill. I mean, there's no right to killing. You cannot have the right to kill. Shifting the conversation to rights is a tactic to make discussions emotional rather than factual, right? So there's lots of emotional, the emotionally charged. It's not a discussion. It's just this emotionally charged jibber jabber. Yep. You're just attacking me because I'm your cousin, right? She's my cousin. We share the same grandmother. So the fact that she is family makes this even more damning, not less. So she killed my baby, right? I had it. I'm supposed to be having a 10-year-old baby, boy or girl. My baby was killed because of this issue here. So family ties does not excuse from moral or legal responsibility. I should, and if I don't talk about it, I'm even more culpable myself, right? Because I'm not talking about it, right? So if anything, it makes the betrayal worse. Someone entrusted with the care of others is committing acts of destruction. Right. But what are we talking about here? We're talking about possible defense strategies, right? That's what we're talking about here. And to recap the video, I think the only defense strategy would be to attack my mental health. Right, so you're a crazy person. You're a mentally ill or whatever. But even again, if I were mentally ill, does that make any of the facts, any of the facts that were presented here, the arguments that were made, any less true? It certainly doesn't. So the defense strategies here fail, but we'll be interested to see if there's just cowardly silence, or if there's any kind of actual rebuttal to the facts, or if there's any kind of defense strategies made. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the video regarding Dr. Dow's defense strategies. I'll see you next video.